overwhelmed in my body, and I'm exhausted, and I'm just tired of people, and I don't really want to involve myself in a conversation with people, right? So we're going to talk about, here's some best practices. Dr. Blake, this morning I emailed you, I think it was 4 different infographics, which are in JPEG files that you can share with your people via email or on your Facebook, district Facebook page or whatever. But they're just some because right now I'm giving this version. This will be a visual. This version for those of us with ADD. It's like a beautiful little boiling it all down kind of thing. So
I'll say.
the first point here is to know your audience.
Thanks for the heads up, buddy.
Don't make a mistake of wasting your message on the wrong group. Know your audience's needs, hurts, and pain points. So if I think about the 30-year-old drywall hanger, right? What are his needs, hurts, pain points? I want to address those things. And here's why I go with that in my mind, just to give you a little frame of reference. When I was in kids ministry for all of those years, the gold standard, right? The bar that you always wanted to hit was a 6th grade boy. If you could keep a 6th grade boy engaged and happy with what you were doing, everyone else in that entire room is going to follow suit. You won't have to sell everyone else that you sold the 6th grade boy. In adult world, big people congregations, many times it's the 30-year-old male that's your gold standard. You think about a lot of 30-year-old males that you know. I was in a church recently where I'm not even playing. I saw so many men with their hands up in the air worshiping. And I don't see that in a lot of our churches. These were young men. And I thought, this church is doing something right. That's super appealing. So when you think about knowing your audience, that's what I mean. Tell us stories. Stories matter. Stories draw us in, right? Don't you love to hear a good story? Mm-hmm. Stories resonate with people. You can share things with on your Facebook page. Like once a month, you can post something like, "Here's our volunteer highlight of the month." People love to see other people celebrating. See, that's like your informational post. And you can say, "Hey, this is Suzanne. Suzanne cleans our building, and she keeps this place in top shape every single week." Give a shout out to Suzanne. So you can say things like, "Hey, Caleb, once a month, I'm going to share a testimony. Caleb, this is Caleb." And many of you know Caleb because he's leading in our church, and many of you see what the Lord is doing. Caleb's but what most of you may not know is that Caleb's life before Jesus was a mess. And tell that story. Those are things that we need to talk about regularly. Keep it simple. Number 4 is keep it short. How many of you, when you see the first couple sentences of a post and then you see that read more button, sometimes the first couple sentences will draw you in and you're like, okay, I'm going to keep going. And then you click it and it's like this. You're like, I'm out, never mind, I'm not going to read this. Sorry. That literally just happened to me this morning. I have the attention span of a gnat. And I'm not going to sit there and read something that's basically someone else's opinion that I thought was sort of interesting in the beginning, but they lost me when it became like this. Yeah. So don't do that in your posts. Keep them short. Keep them simple. Number 5, ask open-ended questions that we've talked about. Number 6 is to use emojis. Again, it's that, okay, there's something different here that I need to see that causes the human eye to say, oh, stop for a second. And right now, Facebook offers all of those little squares on the bottom. You can change the color and the background of whatever you're saying. If nothing else, use those. It's a wonderful way to get someone's attention. Because lately, I've been seeing all those ones with the pumpkins on them. And I'm like, what's going on? What is this pumpkin? Then I discover, oh, this is a Facebook option on here. I didn't know that, but it caught my attention. Number 7 is to write in second person. When you do that, you're opening an online space. People know that there's room for them as well.
Give me an example of that.
So if you were to say, I like to use things like we. Instead of saying things, many times we're quick when we're the one posting, we default to I. Well, Suzanne, you aren't the, I don't know what church you go to, you aren't the Indianapolis First Church of the Nazarene, but on people's newsfeed, it's going to show up as Indianapolis First Church of the Nazarene says, I enjoy this song, whatever. You know, other people then are like, oh, okay, well, that's just about them. It's the whole bringing you into the conversation. I have felt hopeless. Many of my friends have felt hopeless. But we have found, and we would like to tell you, or just whatever. But make it second person and invite other people in that conversation so that it's not, again, just that one-sided business. Number 8 is use pictures to tell stories. Again, use those pictures of people that clean your building, the people that lead your worship every week, the people who whatever. Use pictures of people. Tag the people on Sunday mornings, take pictures, tag them of people that are handing out bulletins at the door. Say, hey, aren't these people outstanding? They show up and they stand by that old door every Sunday morning. Say something that you appreciate about so-and-so. I don't know, that might be too insider focus. I would say, here's what they do, and give them a shout out. Number 9 is make it personal. Share from your heart and be transparent and authentic as you post. And by that I mean, it's okay as ministries to portray the fact that we are full of broken people. We are full of people who do not have the answers. Be real. When we're constantly making posts like, again, don't mishear me when I say, when we constantly make posts about Jesus saves and don't worry because worry is a sin and stuff like that, people get distant themselves. They don't feel welcome. And when we can say, we struggle with worry. Sometimes worry tends to envelop us and we just don't know how we're going to find our way out. Here are some scriptures that have helped us in the past. Things like that. Offer yourselves as authentic in online spaces. It's not always easy to do, because the truth of the matter is we are really good at creating personas online, right? We're excellent at saying this is our highlight reel, and this is the part that we want people to see. But when we begin to expose our brokenness, sometimes we're afraid that people are going to run away, but in fact it draws them. And when you as a ministry are saying, hey, our church is full of broken, messed up people, you think we're hypocrites? You're right. You think that we're judgmental? You're right. You think that we have marital problems? You're right. You think we have money problems? You're right. Like when you're saying, hey, we're one of you, because you are. So we can't put ourselves above in our persona or image. Number 10 is high touch or high tech. I like this quote. The strength of the church is not the strength of its institutions, but the authenticity of its witness. Always err on the side of being authentic. It's okay to be real, because real stuff happens around dinner tables. That's when the good stuff happens. That's when things begin to change. Be willing to be real. Okay, I'm going to just start blasting some questions and best practices at you. If I were teaching this in a regular long day thing, I would have to do this. So I'm going to have you just make a note. And I want you to do this when you get back home. I want you to find 3 friends from your church or personal friends or whatever, at least 3. And I want you to go and ask them to put a review on your Facebook page. I'm talking primarily today about Facebook, and here's why. Because I realize that most of you, again, are running around with your hair on fire trying to keep up with all of it. If you want to be where the most people are, that's where it is. If you want to start to begin to dabble in other things, there's a hierarchy of where you go, like he was saying, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, you can Pinterest, you can do all these other things. But I would challenge you in this. Find one, just one, and do or it's going to be somebody that we find that we know that we can trust and whatever else. But don't feel like you have to be everywhere. Do one thing and do it really, really well. 40% of all Google searches are local. This is why you must have a church website. You think about, you guys, I don't know about you, but if I had $1 for every time I Googled something in a day, I would be a wealthy woman. Like, I have Googled random things like, do any mothers think their babies are ugly? Like, you can Google anything, right? But 40% of all Google searches are local. That means people are looking for things around them. If they're Googling churches in there, churches near me, will your church pop up? If you don't have a website, and if you don't have a website that's done well, it's not going to come up. And before I forget to tell you this, I stumbled upon this piece of gold as I was getting ready for this church plant because I'm doing what Dr. Blake said. I'm out on my own. My district doesn't have any money to throw at it. So we're raising funds on our own, right? And God's been really good there, but I feel this need to just be super careful with how we're spending our money. And so I was reaching out, though I've designed websites before and put them in the action, it's time consuming. And it's not something that I love doing, so I'm like, I want to outsource this. It's so expensive many times, but I stumbled upon this one that I want to share with you, and I asked the guy for his permission because I just think he's outstanding. And it's this, thechurchco.com.
One more time.
Thechurchco.com. Many of these businesses will charge you $200 to $500 a month to keep your website up. And I don't know about you, but like right now, especially for us, I can't afford that. This guy is doing, like, he has a special rate for church planters, but it's like $20 a month. He set it up. And right now, again, we haven't even officially launched. We're in the pre-launch stages, so I have very little on my site. But it's there where people go things. And it's the number one thing that pops up when they Google it. So this guy even knows how to, he's got you listed so that you're in Google's algorithms, right? So you come up at the top on there. 40% of all of those are happening there. And here's what else matters. You think about every time you Google, I Googled a new restaurant last month that had opened in Anderson. And I went on there, and you know what I did the very first thing? I read the reviews. The reviews matter. When I buy something on Amazon that I have not purchased before, I read the reviews.
Right.
That's why it's important for you to go home today and make sure that you have at least some up-to-date reviews from people that you know will actually say positive things about your church. Because those reviews are super important. And then I would also reach out to 3 more friends. And I would ask them to go on Google to find your church if you're on there. And when it pops up on the right-hand side of the screen, there's a little hyperlink there that says, write a review. Ask them to write a review on Google. Did you also know that you need to have your page verified by Google? Google that if you don't know how to do it. Because if you're verified through Google, you'll come up, they'll show favor to you in their algorithms. Okay, let's talk about live streaming attendance, or live streaming attendance. So most churches, when they first start out, are like, I don't want a live stream because it's embarrassing. I don't want a live stream because we can't do it with like expensive equipment. And then I hear this one a lot of times. I don't want a live stream because that's not true ecclesia. That's not truly what the church is supposed to be about. People won't come if we live stream our services. But I will go toe-to-toe with you and challenge you by saying, I don't believe that that's true.
That's right.
Now, when your people are traveling or they're sick or whatever else, the truth of the matter is you and I all know the statistics right now that a committed church-going person attends your church twice a month, right? So right now, again, goes back to what we talked about at the beginning. What is your goal? If your goal is to get butts and benches, then maybe live streaming isn't for you. But if your goal is to expose the message of Jesus Christ to as many people as you possibly can, then live streaming is for you. You don't want to miss the opportunity, and I'll say this. Millennials get a bad rap sometimes, right? But millennials are one of the most forgiving generations of people. Millennials love authenticity, and they place it as a very high priority over most everything else. They don't like institution. They don't like things that appear too regimented, whatever. They love authenticity. So I'm going to push back just a little bit on the whole equipment issue and say this. If someone in your church has an iPhone, you can be live streaming. Because millennials are going to look at that and they're going to say, that's authentic. Like, they didn't work to overly program that. Now, if you have to choose between good sound and good video, err on the side of good sound. So make sure that when you're broadcasting live, the sound is good. Because if a person can't hear what you're saying, they will tune you out and just instantly bounce off of your page. Look at online media as a form of ministry and have someone on there live if you choose live stream. So Caleb's running his services live stream on Sunday mornings from 8 through 10, and he's asked Suzanne, hey Suzanne, will you be our online campus pastor? Hey, you just started a brand new pack, and the church of Nazareth's going to love you, right? So you're giving Suzanne an area of authority, and Suzanne's logged in as your church on your page or whatever. But what happens is, if Caleb's up there preaching, Caleb can't field any questions that come in. The mistake that most churches make is, they say, oh yes, we're live streaming, and that's where it ends. But what if you looked at live streaming again as a way to invite people into a conversation? For example, if Pastor Caleb's up front preaching and he says, hey, Matthew 3, whatever, he says this, and the person who's moderating online, gets in there and in the chat and says, Matthew 28, in case you missed that, Pastor Caleb just referenced Matthew 3, whatever. And then Pastor Caleb's talking about hope again, and the online moderator says something like, when was the last time you felt hopeless? You are inviting people into that conversation. Your church is no longer just a one-sided, come and observe, sit back and watch who we are and how we do things kind of thing. It's you're welcome at our table. And then, just partway through the service, you can, when Caleb calls for the offering, you can say, Suzanne can say something like, hey, people who attend our church regularly are invited to give. Here's a link in case you decide that's important to you. You throw that up there too. At the end of the service, he finishes in prayer, and you're commenting all the way through. You're posting whatever that's interactive along with whatever he's doing, and the people in there are engaging. But at the very end, then you can say, "Thank you so much for visiting our service today, and if there's anything that we can, anyone that we can pray for you and your family, would you email us at office@afc.com or whatever it is, or would you message us, or feel free to drop it in the comments. We promise to pray for you." This is an outstanding way to follow up with people, because then again, you're building that conversation, you're building that relationship, and guess what's going to happen eventually? They're going to wind up saying, those people when I watch them every week, the ones that are there getting something I'm not getting, I want to be a part of that. And ultimately, many of them will wind up attending. Now, can I promise you all of them will? No. But that shouldn't be the objective. The objective is to enter into a relationship with people so that you can lead them to Jesus Christ, right? Okay, legal concerns. You need to make sure that on your CCLI license, that you have a streaming license, all right? It's a little add-on feature that you get, and when you have that feature, you can play live music, but you can't play, and you still can't play canned music. So in that case, I would, if you have music that you have to pipe in or whatever every week, I would just live stream the sermon. Don't worry about the music, okay? That's the main legal. Oh, and if you show like any YouTube video clips or whatever, Facebook will tag you as target you and shut down your post there, because they'll say, oh, you just committed a legal infraction. So do this one thing well when it comes to live streaming, moderate. The Board of Chair Superintendent to release a statement regarding online attendance taking in the last few months. So if you're looking for that, wondering, okay, do I count these people? How do I count? How do I know how long they stay on our site during the whole service? Refer to that. Ways to use it ministry for discipleship. It is again, it's shifting your mindset. Groups. If you want to talk about how you can disciple people instead of just evangelizing on that front page that I keep talking about, groups is where it's at. I started a group a couple of years ago using Andy Stanley's starting point, I think it's called, like the first thing they offer, like bringing people to their church. And I walked people through that Bible study in a closed group that I had put out a public appeal, hey, if you want to join this group, and then I would post the link to the video so that people could go watch the video, and then we would get on there and we would talk about it. That's a way to disciple people without even getting dressed or in your pajamas, right? That's the best kind of discipleship. Online, like Bible studies, here's another one. Groups for 21 days of prayer. I was just recently at a church who invited me on their prayer group. They do every few years, or once a year, I mean. And they do a 21 days of prayer focus. And every night for 21 days, someone from their church, it's not always the pastor, it's lay leaders and whoever else, gets on and at 9 o'clock p.m. leads a prayer and says, hey, here's who we're praying for today, and here's how you can pray for our community and whatever else. But again, that's discipleship. That's drawing people in. That's moving your mindset from, hey, this is what we're blasting announcements to you, social media broadcasting to social media ministry, right? Okay, anybody have any oh my goodness, one more thing, sorry. Websites. Here are the 5 things you have to have. I want to tell you this. Most of the church websites that I visit are way too much information. Ask this question. For whom does your website exist? If your website exists for Nancy Nazarene, it's okay to have every scheduled event highlighted on there from 2 years ago that you've never updated. And it's okay to have your wedding policy posted, right? It's okay to have all this. But if you're honestly saying, I want to use this as a way for people, lost people to come to know who we are, then you've got to change the scope of what you're offering. Here are the 5 things you have to have. I'm just going to really quickly touch on these. 5 tabs on your website. Who's it for? Or no, I'm sorry. That's the question you're asking. Here are the tabs. I'm new. Plan a visit. Your homepage, obviously. Your sermon page. Because people do want to know what you're preaching. They want to know what your style is like. And then about us. You want to know what the #1 visited website or link is on the church's website? It's not what you think it is. It's the staff page. So under the About Us page, you're putting your staff right there, because when people come in, they want to say, oh, that's Pastor Ron, I know that's who I want to look for today, or that's the youth pastor, and I'm going to put my kid in touch with that person. So, okay, I totally ran over. If you have any questions that I can answer really fast. All right, thank you.
Thank you.